Hi guys, this is Priti this side and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video in my 20th birthday series. So today's video is about my book collection. There are a lot of books from a different sort of writers and from almost different genres. I have quite a few books, so that I thought why not share it with you guys. So the very first book I have is The Empress of Taj Mahal, In Search of Mumtaz Mahal, written by Timrai N. Murari. This is a very interesting book, to be very honest, and this book is about the past life, the findings of the great Mumtaz Mahal, and this was quite an interesting book to read. Okay, so for the second go, we have a really special book, and this book is very close to my heart. I read it quite a lot of times, and it really gives me a lot of inspiration from this particular lady. And the book is this Kadambari Devi's Suicide Note. So this book is the book illustration of the suicide note that Kadambari Devi, Rabindranath Tagore's sister-in-law, wrote before she attempted suicide. And this was I can give you a really short preface of it, is that her father-in-law, which is Rabindranath Tagore's father, they all according to his instruction, all the suicide note was to be burnt out. Not only the suicide note particularly, but everything that belonged to her should be burnt out. And I don't know, it is not even cleared out in the book as well that who saved this long suicide note from the burning thing. And thank God whosoever have saved it. I really got to read this amazing thing. The next book we have is this book. And who does not know this book? Yeah, this was so famous. The Rise of Shivgami, the Bahubali version. This book was, I don't know, it was a productive purchase or not, but I quite enjoyed reading this book. It says how Shivgami, came into being and all, her past life, her Rani life and what not. I can't illustrate all of a sudden because I read it really long time ago. So the next book we have is the Calcutta Exile, a novel by Bani Suraya. After I read this book, I researched quite a lot about this particular writer, and I got to know that this novel was her very first novel, technically her debut novel. And what a writing sense, man. I live in Calcutta. I really love roaming around Calcutta. Whenever I get time, I try to roam around Calcutta, especially north, central, south. I don't have a specific space, but from my heart, I just want to, roam around and know new things about my city. That's a very, very special thing for me. Calcutta itself is a special city for me. Definitely it is. But sitting inside your home, you get a tour of a city which has been from the Victorian era, a city which has a lot of history stored in it, and a city which till date holds some of its really historic things in its heart, and the people really recognizes it, and that's a really sense of good humor. Moving on to the next book, we have this particular book, One Life to Love. This is very significant and very relatable to our age, because here in this book, 4 engineering students face their head-ons, face their life problems, relationship problems, friendship problems in one go, and how they figure that out, how they face all the complexes. Everything is well illustrated in this book, and I think it's quite relatable to us, because to our age we are facing and we will be facing all of these things. And the next book, who doesn't have it? I think everyone have this thing. You read that right. It's a love story by Eric Segal. And who don't have this? I don't know who don't have this, because each of my friend whom I told that, listen, I bought love story, yeah, He said, so what's the big deal? I also have it. Then I told another one, listen, I bought Love Story by Eric Segal. So what's the big deal? So this was not a big deal at all. I really enjoyed this book quite a lot. But for me, few books are, they have that content that you can read again and again and you don't lose interest in it. But this book, I can only say I can read twice or thrice. I don't find interest by reading it again and again. It doesn't interest me for reading, repeated number of times. But yeah, it's quite a good book. So the next up we have a book named The Ordinary, The Enchanted, and The Quaintly Happy, I guess. Quaintly Happy. Book looks like this, and by my illustration, you guys can definitely get a idea that I haven't read this book yet. It's been a year I bought it. It's been not a year, more than a year I have bought it, and I haven't read it yet. There is one more book I think I haven't read yet, and honestly nowadays I'm not really in a mood to read from last 1 or 2 months, but I'm trying my best to spend my time in quality. And for the next up we have this book, Dark Destiny, and this is quite an interesting book. It's by Kamal Kant, and this book is about a man who fights with his past incidents, and he doesn't want to give up on life, and he fights his past incident and correct his future and live in present. So this book is quite an interesting with twists and turns in it. I have read it once or twice, once only, hopefully. Yeah, once only. I've read it once only. So yeah, for first time it has been a really great one. I love some tragic stories, I like reading books which is based on tragic stories, tragic love stories, or tragic endings, which carry forwards to my movie collections as well. So for that instance, I have this book named Meher, a love story, where the writer Siddharth Gigo illustrates his love for a Pakistani girl named Meher, and he was basically a Kashmiri boy, a youngster, but he haven't mentioned his name in the book, false name in the book, like many of the writers do generally. So this story is quite tragic, quite cool, quite lovely, interesting, and soothing. So the next book we have is The Girl with Nine Wings. This is a very special book about a very special girl. The illustration of the story of the writer Sophie van der Stapp. She was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and doctors had given their word that she won't survive long days anymore. But she survived all those chemotherapies, those operations, and what not. She is alive, and she is heading strong to her life. She just I will not say defeated cancer, but she is living with the cancer, written a book, a novel, and has written more books as well, illustrating her experience in this horrific incident. And yeah, she is headstrong now. For information to the viewers of this particular video, all the books I am showing in this video, I bought it physically when things were normal. For the last 1.5 years, I haven't bought any book, but recently I bought a book which I'll show gradually towards the end of this video, and I am going mad on that book, so I will definitely show it towards the end of this video. For now, let's move into the next book. Next book we have is The Double X Factor. This is a very, very, very cool, very inspiring, and very strong book. It gives me literally energy to fight, to not give up. Honestly, if some book are there to inspire you, to make you strong, to energize you, this book has to be one of them. This book has 99 stories of 99 women of India which we hardly knew about. I knew about some and I didn't know about some. So whenever I read this book, it really fills my heart with really good amount of energy, good amount of soulful energy, so that I can fight myself, fight my sorrows, fight my problems, and again I face the same thing again and again. So it is not a really great matter to ignore your sorrow, ignore your pain, ignore your problems, but to face it, just gulp it and just go ahead, because that's what you have. So moving on to the next book, and for the next book we have a very significant and true life story, is that Many Lives, Many Masters. It's about a psychiatrist and his patient, and how the past life therapy changed their life, and it illustrates their problems of the psychiatrist, problems of the patient, and how his past life therapy changed both of their lives in such different ways. So this is one really great book to read out, and I find it really interesting, and it's something which is out of my genre. I don't have a particular genre for it, but it's a genre where you can rely and relax and read this book with fresh mind, free mind. Okay, so the last genre of my book collection is about the great personalities. Honestly, I'm not really a fan of collecting all the past life experiences about the great personalities, but I literally respect them and look up to. So for the very first thing, I have this book of Subhash Chandra Bose, a political biography here, and who does not respect this person is an inhuman for me, because I personally love this person a lot, respect him a lot, respect his journey a lot, respect all his decisions a lot, which he had taken. Like through books only I got to know, and few of the videos or news I got to know about him. I haven't met him, and but this person is something who inspires a lot of lives living in today's world to fight for the truth, not to hide your truth but to fight for the truth, and which is very cool, which is very obvious and which is very convincing, and that's what I love about this particular person. So on to the next book, we have this book, Wings of Fire by APJ Abdul Kalam, the magic man, the missile man. I call him magic man because he was a magician, In his field, he was a magician, and I can't deny that. The world can't deny that. To a backstory, I was not in a plan to buy this book when I bought it actually. So my tuition sir, Sanjit sir, um, he read this book quite a few times at that time when I bought this book. He was going crazy over this particular book, He, more than at that particular period, he used to teach us science group and all, but on that particular days when he was actually reading this book out, he every day talked about this book, what he has told, what he has not, and which made me really curious that what is there in the book. I really need to know that why he is getting so mad at it. So after I read this book, man, I have to say it was worth it. This book was worth purchasing, and I think everyone should purchase this particular book because it will literally inspire you. Trust me, not for any particular thing, but for everything. It will inspire you a lot. So moving on to the next personality, I have two books of this personality with me, and the personality is this particular person. Who don't know him? Yeah, he's the pride of Bengal, and a great cricketer, a great coordinator, a great father, a great husband, and a great personality. This book was a really good seller. Century is not enough, and I pre-booked this particular book, and I thankfully got it on time. Actually, I was not able to resist what is there in this book, and when I read about him, it was really cool. And there was no book yet about Saurav Ganguly, but when this book came out, it resulted to be really successful. Moving on to the legendary novel, the Sherlock Holmes. Honestly, if you ask any random person that what you feel about Sherlock Holmes, how you like the book, how you like the novel, blah 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 blah. But for me, it was very boring. I read only first 2 or 3 chapters of this particular novel. Even if it's sounding weird, I can't help because I am this straightforward to tell people what I don't like about any particular thing, not only a book or a novel. So honestly, I did not enjoy it at all. And when the start is only boring, I don't want to read it ahead. So this novel was not a worth purchase for me. It resulted to be very boring and very, what should I say? Not last, second last book. Sorry, second last book we have of this very famous personality in the history of Bengali literature is the book of Chandra Pahar by Bibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay. He was a great writer indeed. He was the writer of this Chandra Pahar, and this was one of the most successful novels of its time. And I am really fortunate enough to read this, to feel the thrill, and to see it on big screen as well. And for a backstory of this book is that after I saw this in the big screen, I bought this book and I decided to read the actual novel from where the story was actually encrypted. And when I read this book, I was a fan. Backstory about this novel and the writer who wrote it, Vibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay. This Chandra Pahar book is about Africa. A village boy who likes adventure a lot. So he visits Africa. He explores Africa from different corners. He gets attacked from lion and whatnot. There are a lot of things happened in the film. You can get to see it in a very short manner, but when you read the novel, you will get it in an illustrated manner, which is cool and fair enough, I think. But the writer Bibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay, who wrote this novel, he never visited Africa. Trust me, he never visited Africa even for once as well. But he wrote this novel sitting inside West Bengal's one of the interior villages, and he never knew how Africa was. But unfortunately, he wrote it by sitting here, and that's amazing, guys. That's really amazing. So, on to the last book for this video, and the book I was really excited about to show, and the book I'm rolling nowadays on, because I bought this book after 1.5 years, and that too from a store physically. That's so satisfying, guys. That's really satisfying. If you are not a book lover, you won't be able to understand this amount of satisfaction when you go and physically buy a book. So, ending all the suspenses, this book I bought, Aimless Bararas by Vishwanath Bose, and I am currently reading this book, and I'm quite liking it. Dheere dheere. I don't jump up to any conclusion from the very first day of reading this book or very first week or month of reading this particular book, but I'm really liking it how the writer have illustrated Banaras in an aimless way, like there is no end of Banaras somewhere. So that's the end of this video, end of all my book collection. I hope you people love this video and all of my book collection. I know they are not from the same genre, but I read books like this only. I don't have a particular choice of writer. I don't have a particular genre of reading. But I enjoy books with good titles, good content, and good prefaces as well, and the characters given equal significance in one book, so it really attracts me a lot. So I hope you people love this video, and if you love this video, like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave your views in the comment box, and please let me know that which of the books have you purchased, or which of the books are your favorites, or any top 3 books that you would like to share that are your top favorites. Do let me know in the comment box below, and please press the bell icon to not miss update about my series or any of the series video. Until then, keep waiting, and please wait till the end because there are a lot of videos coming up.